Oh, well, imagine as I'm pacing the pews in a church corridor and I can't help but to hear, no, I can't help but to hear an exchanging of words. What a beautiful wedding, says the bridesmaid to the waiter. Yes, but what a shame the poor groom's bride is a...
You've got the large pretzel bits. Records!
I chime in with the haven't you people ever heard of closing the goddamn door? No. It's much better to face these kinds of things with a sense of poise and rationality. I chime in. Haven't you people ever heard of closing the goddamn door? No. It's much better to face these kinds of things with a sense of poise and... People ever heard of... Ew. Ew, you drooled.
Death of a Bachelor, Panic at the Disco Records.
Hello and welcome to RECIDS, where we review records. This week we're reviewing the new release by Panic at the Disco, also known as Brendan Urie, Death of a Bachelor. I'm actually kind of surprised that this is still considered Panic at the Disco, since Brendan Urie is the only member of the band. Maybe it's just because...
The only original member.
He is listed on Wikipedia as the only member of the band.
Oh really? So he just has a backup man? I didn't know that.
He is listed as the only, like, everybody else is past member. Like, it says current member, Brendan Urie.
Jade.
That's it.
Jade.
Like, I mean, maybe he's just not going to release a solo album because it's not going to sell well, but under the Panic at the Disco name it'll sell. Maybe. But to me it seems random that you would put Panic at the Disco on an album that was just yours, Brendan. The fuck's your problem?
Why are you being so mean to Brendan? He's a nice guy.
He's very attractive.
He's very attractive.
But he does like to scream a little bit.
Yeah?
It's not screaming. He's not the best singer.
Yes, he is. He's good.
He's alright.
He's pretty good. Have you seen his vines?
No.
Where he sings like high notes?
He can probably sing, but a lot of first track is Victorious. An okay song, catchy but too ugly, no point.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was terrible. Actually, I thought it was terrible.
I put sounds like the old Panic at the Disco mixed with the new Panic at the Disco, but the chorus is a bit cheesy.
I just thought it was ugly because the title, first of all, Victorious, because for some reason I only think of the Nickelodeon TV show now.
I knew you were going to say that.
But second, I also just, it was like there was like a chorus, maybe, like, of people, and it's like, we shall be victorious! And I was like, that's ugly. I hated it.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit cheesy, but I like when he sung it, and I put I like it, and I gave it a point. Ding.
Don't Threaten Me with a Good Time. This song was destined to not get a point.
Oh my God.
But it wasn't until, like, it was already bad, but then he said, I'm not as think as you drunk I am.
I like that.
And I wrote, fuck you, Brendan Urie, for being a cheesy-ass 40-year-old mother. Because that's what moms post on Facebook. With a minion.
They shouldn't post that.
Like, it'll say, I'm not as think as you drunk I am, and it'll have a minion holding a glass of wine, and then underneath it'll say, like, XOXO Sharon. Fuck yourself, Brendan Urie.
You're right.
Exactly.
I thought it would be him. Oh, that's for the next song. I put very energetic, classic Beach Boys type riff. You remember that?
Also, okay, speaking of Beach Boys.
That's neat. Catchy chorus, I thought.
Remember the Beach Boys. They come into play later.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, I know.
You said something about the Beach Boys.
Well, next. Did you give it a point?
Yeah, you're the point.
No point. Next, Hallelujah. I thought this was just going to be a cover of Hallelujah.
The fourth, the fifth, the major might fall in the major left.
Hallelujah.
The composing king composing.
Hallelujah. But it's not. And I said it's a good song with a good chorus. No obvious weakness. I gave it a point.
I thought it would be him converting to religion, but it's not. Really liked the song as well. Impressed the first three songs were so good. Point.
I disagree, but I did give it a point.
Fuck you.
Next is Emperor's New Clothes. I put Emperor Cusco would be disappointed. This is god awful and ugly.
God damn. I put I don't like the intro and recurring theme of the electronic, like Brita Brita Bling Ding, whatever it's like.
He actually screamed in this, and it was ugly.
I put, but the chorus is so catchy, bridge is so catchy, love the energy.
No point.
I give it a point.
Next is Death of a Bachelor, the title track. I said it's a pretty good song. I wish he was better at singing, but I gave it a point. At this point, I just kind of thought the album all kind of, not sounded the same, but like, there wasn't much variation.
That is
in
a
the
problem
songs
with
to me.
the disco albums to me, but I thought this one kind of changed it up a little bit, but I think, like, after Emperor's New Clothes, I think that's when the album started to get boring.
Yeah, I changed. That's the opposite for me. I thought the first two songs were bad, and then kind of after Emperor's New Clothes, it was alright.
Are we on Death of a Bachelor right now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I thought.
No, we're on Death of a Bachelor, yeah.
I put it's a good mix of jazz and electronic instruments. Not as strong as the first few songs, though, and I did not give it a point.
Really?
Yeah, I did not like it. It sounded like Frank Sinatra.
Someone actually they said like Brendan Urie and Panic at the Disco let out their Frank Sinatra, and I was like, no, I don't agree.
I thought it sounded like Frank Sinatra.
I think that, yeah, I guess of any song on this album, that would be something that Frank Sinatra would sing. I do like Frank Sinatra, so I did give it a point, but I did not draw the comparison.
I did, and I didn't like it.
Next is Crazy equals Genius. I said ugly. And then in this song, he name-dropped Brian Wilson multiple times.
Who's that?
And I looked it up.
Know who that was.
He's in the Beach Boys.
What?
Yeah. Isn't that random?
That's so random.
Yeah, he's in the Beach Boys.
Okay.
And I'm just so confused. I said, did he really name drop Brian Wilson? Random. Why? And then at one point he's like, you're never gonna be Dennis Wilson. I don't even know who Dennis Wilson is. Weird as fuck. I thought it was pretty ugly. You could set yourself on fire, but crazy equals genius. Shut the fuck up, Brendan Urie. What are you trying to say? Ugly. No point.
This is the problem that the new Fall Out Boy album has, where the chorus is just yelling.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Like that's not a song. Like I fucking hate the yelling. I don't like it. I will never listen to the song ever again.
Yeah. No point.
Nobody will force me to do it. No point.
Next is LA Devotee. I said, well, it's no I Write Sins, but it's okay. I gave it a point. I thought it was kind of catchy. It was an alright song. I think the title's kind of ugly, but, you know, I gave it a point. It was alright.
Yeah, I put no idea what the song's about, but I like the bass line and the chorus, and I gave it a point.
Yeah. Next is Golden Days. I said it's a catchy chorus. I still dislike the punk feel in his voice, but I gave it a point because you can't always change what a person sounds like. It's what's inside that counts, and I gave it a point.
I put this song feels emotional, more emotional than other songs in the album, and I liked it. It sounded like he really meant what he was singing. Point.
Next is The Good, the Bad, and the Dirty. The first thing I noticed, Brendan Urie does not like the Harvard comma. But other than that, he's
Harvard comma
or the Oxford comma, the same thing. They're the same, they're both are the exact same thing. I don't know what the difference is. Because it's just the good comma, the bad, and the dirty. Put a comma in.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Next, with the same thing, he seems to just be saying the title to say it. He would just be like, say my name like the good, the bad, and the dirty. What does that even mean? He just kept saying it. It didn't play. It was like, you know, he's writing lyrics and then he's like, okay, like, I need to put the name of the title in here. So he just kind of spliced it in. It didn't fit with what he was saying. Like, he would just say it. You know, he'd be in the middle of it and he would just say the good, the bad, and the dirty, and it didn't make any sense.
Yeah, this song was kind of...
No point.
Yeah, no point. I didn't like it.
Aww.
Yeah, I liked it, but I didn't like it and probably will never listen to it again.
Yeah. House of Memories is next. I said it's a catchy song, it's alright. I gave it a point.
Yeah, I gave it a point too. Like, that's all I thought about it. It's alright.
Yeah. And then the final track is Impossible Year. I said it's a good song to close out this mediocre album.
I agree. I don't, it's a little better than mediocre, but it's going to get a mediocre score.
Yeah, I said it was just mediocre. I said the album overall was just mediocre, but I said Impossible Year was a good song. I thought his voice sounded good. It kind of showed like what he could actually do as a performer, and I wish he had maybe showcased more of his good singing voice on the rest of the album instead of chiming in with Haven't You People Ever Heard of Closing the Goddamn Door. So Death of a Bachelor, I gave it 6 out of 11. AJ gave it 8 out of 11. That is a 14 out of 22, which is a 64%. That's all right.
It's okay.
Going into this album, I only knew I write sins, not tragedies. That's literally it. That's the only... RJ thinks I might know more, but I literally can only tell you the only Panic at the Disco song that I know is I chime in with how many people ever heard of Closing the Goddamn Door. No, it's much better to face these kinds of things with Poison Rationality. But overall, it was just okay. I wasn't bad. It wasn't that great. Especially after listening to Black Star, like, I think anything was going to be terrible. So.
Yeah, nothing was going to equal Black Star right after that review.
Yeah. And David Bowie's dead, and so after everything, and you know, when you've been listening to nonstop David Bowie and David Bowie's like, you know, here, and like Brendan Urie is like there, you know, what can
he's
you say?
Not gonna get 100.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Let's do packaging.
Here we got the Death of a Bachelor CD. It's pretty.
Ugly.
It's pretty hideous inside. You get a wall outlet on the CD.
And a portrait.
Yeah, that's like literally it. I mean.
There's like lyrics, but it's like ugly inside.
Like
yeah, ugly.
More pictures of him.
He just gets more bloody and more bloody.
And there's a wall outlet with blood in it. I don't know why.
Because you chime in with how many people ever heard of Closing the Goddamn Door. No, it's much better to face these kinds of things. Camera's about to die. That's it for the Death of a Bachelor. Next week we're reviewing Celine Dion, Love Me Back to Life. How much people have heard of Closing the Goddamn Door? No, it's much better to face these kinds of things. The Poison Rationality. I chime in with it. How much people are... Ella Hoot.